know, it's like...
Would you, and this is getting into problem solving, but my questions are for you to figure it out and not for me to tell you. So in terms of the relationship right now, is it something you want to stay in and get married, or is it something that you would want to postpone until his schedule straightens out, if it does? Where are you really emotionally?
That's a great question.
Yeah. And we're not going to solve it here, but this is like we're coming to the end of a piece.
Right. I mean, Brian calls it the earthquake talk. We had an earthquake talk about a month ago where I said, I don't want to marry this.
You said it today in this session.
Yeah.
I do not want to marry this.
I do not want to marry this. I want to marry Brian. I really want to marry... I mean, it's not like it's like I want to spend my life with Brian. That's what I want to do, but like, I'm not spending my life with Brian.
Because, I think it's Gibran that did that tree thing where, you have yourself and then you have the other, and then you try to figure out what's the we in this, what's the I, and what's the I and what's the we.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, part of what's tricky, I mean, it would almost be easier if you were gone for 2 weeks. But this like in-out thing, it's like almost every Monday night. It's so stressful in our house because he's like scurrying around and like, it makes home, I don't know, we just have to, I don't not want to get married, but I don't want to marry this.
Exactly.
So I don't know how.
So is there a possibility of having more space from each other and being apart for that 2 weeks, longer period of time, so the adjustment period is not so...
All the time?
Mm-hmm.
So we're always
in transition? Because you're being jerked around constantly on a daily basis?
It's funny, because when we didn't live together, it was easier. It was really actually significantly easier.
Yeah, one of my sweethearts and I discussed having a duplex relationship. So one person lived on one side, the other person lived on the other side. You got together when you needed to. You had quality time, and then you went your other ways. And some people have very satisfactory relationships. This is where we get into a lot about your own breaking away from family traditions, making up your own code of ethics, making up your own rules about what works for you. So part of this is breaking old patterns and doing what's best for you.
I mean, another piece is that our physical space is like, we have a very small bungalow home with 2 bedrooms. So like, there isn't really a place that I can go where there isn't, unless I make a little space for myself in the basement, which I might do actually. I mean, it just occurred to me just now. I mean, this basement is unfinished, but so maybe I build myself a little altar down there, and I have a little space heater in this special little corner, and that's where I go because like it's hard to rest when there's someone being busy.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if they're in the next room and you know that it's like going to another level into the earth.
Yeah.
It really makes a difference.
It does. And men have done this for centuries. They call it the cave.
Yeah, I need a cave.
Exactly.
I need my cave.
Yes, yeah. Well, sanctuary, that defines it really well. A place where you can go and close the door and be alone and regroup and take care of yourself emotionally. Yeah, yeah.
It speaks to us reorganizing the structure of the rooms. Also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of follow-up and reinforcement for today's session then, it's already coming into that piece. What would you say would be your follow-up to reinforce and to carry this forward?
Well, I think what would be in service to both of us is if I sit down and I really look at, we have something that we call a mind map where it's like, what do we really want? What are the big things that what are the things that we really need? So like, really keep focusing on what are these big qualities that are both essential to both of us, or that are, and really have a conversation about that. And then instead of talking about the superficial wedding shit, like, you know, because it's the wedding is like, it's such a band-aid to like being together. It is such a time sink, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew this was going to happen. I mean, I mean,
Well,
but I didn't know how it was going to manifest, and that it was going to basically be like, seriously, most of our free time, because we see each other so little right now anyway, most of our free time is, can't tell you how happy I am that like, can't wait till September. I mean, and that doesn't feel good. The summer is amazing. You know, it's like wishing away a couple of months of my life.